What an absolute frickin' crap show, and people actually pay money for this. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Zurkadowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely crazy, wild, and bewildering news to get into today, as of course it looks like we finally have our cyber attack of this election cycle that we are going to be talking about, allegedly from China. All of this as, of course, there is a new lead front runner when it comes to being the most based politician that we are going to be talking about here, as, of course, the election just got a little bit more interesting. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast has been going around very virally, and I have no idea who originally created this clip. If you do, please let me know down in the description below. There's a tag here from Slob Naz. I don't know if that's that person. If it is, someone let me know, and we, of course, will be attributing them correctly down in the comment section below so you guys could find out more of their amazing work criticizing the kind of, what do you call this, hyper-normative, bewildering, strange. My favorite part was this guy at the end. He's like, this, dude, this is the art. What are you doing? Clap. Like, come on, let's go. As people are sitting there kind of bewildered, being like, what? Old man, what are you doing? Like, why? And in related, what in the world is going on in news? We now have alleged Chinese affiliated, I don't know what that means, but affiliated, alleged Chinese government connecting hacking groups now attacking and, quote, infiltrating critical American infrastructure that includes Hawaii's water utilities, oil transportation, and gas pipelines, and reportedly 24 other, quote, high-value targets that were attacked, infiltrated by Beijing that is using high-tech firewalls going after ordinary employees, probably with a phishing text telling them that their car warranty is no longer active. The last part I just kind of made up there. Who knows what's really going on here? This, as I think it's important to be skeptical of government officials claiming anything since, you know, they're notorious liars. Are they telling the truth here? Well, who really knows? But let's just be honest here. With so much data and information being digital now, with so much infrastructure being dependent on the cloud and networks and online communication, and with the clear insidious trap being laid out between the United States and China, I think it's fair to say that it's not out of the realm of possibility that China could be sitting on, of course, a stockpile of, quote, strategic vulnerabilities inside of the United States that affect its infrastructure. As, of course, if there was a full frontal war or even just a proxy war, what better way to destabilize and hurt your enemy than, of course, hurting their ability to even exist, getting rid of their communications, getting rid of their water, getting rid of their utilities. And we have to understand with direct and indirect military warfare changing so dramatically that this is an aspect that, of course, is worth considering, especially when it comes to having a skeptical point of view on it, since, you know, the World Economic Forum and other big think tanks literally were doing war games simulating a, quote, cyber polygon event with foreign countries, including the Russian government, where they were simulating an online digital attack. Something that, of course, many people online talk about just the pure coincidence of, especially when it comes to the timing of it, as a lot of people are skeptical of the powers that be and their potential to use this kind of larger incident as a way to create more of a problem reaction solution Hegelian dialectic that, of course, leaves the American people more vulnerable than they ever were before. And it's not just the World Economic Forum doing specific simulations of this. It's also very interesting to note that the Obamas, by the way, just recently launched a new Netflix special based off a book called Leave the World Behind, a 2020 novel written by Ruman Alam that deals with the situation of a blackout on the East Coast of the United States that cuts off people from phone, television, and internet services as, of course, chaos ensues and infrastructure all around the people collapses.
The Wi-Fi isn't working. Get a pad.
I'm so sorry to bother you, but this is our house.
This is your house?
Everything is gonna be okay, isn't it?
We are seeing ongoing cyber attacks across the country.
Huh, looks like a interesting movie that, of course, I won't be watching on Netflix because I don't want to support Netflix, but it's also important to note that for some strange reason, the Obamas also included a scene demonizing all white people in the movie because, yeah, why the hell not? And whether it's a cyber war or an actual real conflict, we do have to understand that the United States is involved in multiple proxy conflicts all around the world right now, as the one currently unfolding right now in Ukraine is not working out good for the local population there, as we recently have new reports of a Russian offensive that has been able to conquer a lot new Ukrainian territory away from the local populations there, as the Russian government has been mobilizing and literally preparing its nation and people for a full-out nuclear conflict and war. This is now officially, we have a German high command military officer coming out and warning that Russia may, quote, invade Europe to, quote, trigger a defensive war. We have seen similar posturing made by Polish politicians within the last few days. This as the situation becomes less and less advantageous for the Ukrainians that are continuing to target and assassinate political and journalistic figures, as recently they just released new images of an alleged traitor former MP of Ukraine that was taken out in Moscow. This, as it's fair to say that the situation could definitely spiral out of control very seriously, and that's why I think it's important for people to prepare, and that's one thing that I talk about specifically on lukeunfiltered.com, as of course we have a lot of masterclasses. We're going to have a special broadcast just available for members later on today. Right after this video, we're going to have another video available for everyone who of course subscribes to lukeunfiltered.com, a membership that gives you exclusive offers for t-shirts that also saves you a bunch of money, forums, conversations, the ability to call in to our live show, as well as 3 masterclasses. The one that I am most proudest of is, of course, the Apocalypse Survival Training that you could download and put on a hard drive with one click of a button, showing you 50 plus survival videos and techniques when it comes to a lot of really important things when it comes to just, of course, living off of the land. That masterclass is free, just for members of lukeunfiltered.com. The video that I have available for everyone after this broadcast definitely is going to be a very interesting one, highlighting, of course, all the spicy issues that we cannot discuss here on this particular platform. I will see you there right after this broadcast. Click the link down in the description below. Click right here, join for less than 50 cents a day. It's even cheaper if you sign up yearly, and because you do, we are allowed to continue and grow as an independent media organization, and wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for you guys signing up right now to lukeunfiltered.com, as, of course, the political landscape is not really changing. It's kind of been the same this whole entire election cycle, as, of course, the former president of the United States has been dominating the polls that have only been increasing with the amount of prosecution that has been happening against him all around the state and federal levels. As, of course, he is facing 750 years in jail, and now, according to the Des Moines Registry, new poll numbers show him with a bigger, overwhelming lead over everyone else, as the new nationally renowned Iowa poll shows that Donald Trump is way ahead of the favorite neoconservative bankster corporatist candidate Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, that of course are really low in the favorability numbers, as now Donald Trump is polling at 51% before the Iowa GOP caucus, that of course is going to be playing a major central role to who the Republican presidential candidate will be, as even in some poll numbers he has been ahead 63%. These latest polls showing that he had an 8-point increase since October. Ron DeSantis had a 3-point increase since October, but also is just polling at 19%. Nikki Haley has remained the same at 16%, Vivek Ramaswamy is at 5%, and Chris Christie is at 4%. Of course, if Chris Christie drops out, that number, of course, will be more favorable towards Nikki Haley, that, of course, will be probably picking up the remainder 4% of his votes, which might mean she will be at a close second. This, as if anything happens to Vivek Ramaswamy, it's fair to say that a lot of his votes will be going to, of course, the former president of the United States. But these poll numbers are pretty clear, pretty evident that, of course, Donald Trump has essentially, as we've been saying for a very long time, solidified essentially his nomination for the Republican presidential candidate for the 2024 presidential election. Now, there's probably going to be a lot of different objections standing in his way, as the establishment has been essentially putting out all the stops in order to try to stop him. This, as in Argentina, the country there is dealing with a new populist president there that is taking matters into his own hands, and recently just announced that the country is broke, has no money, and, quote, needs shock therapy, as, of course, Javier Milei, the first kind of libertarian anarchist president of Argentina, was just inaugurated a few hours ago, and during his first major decisive actions has decided on his first day in office as president of Argentina, signing an executive order reducing government ministers from 21 to 9, specifically getting rid of the Minister of Education, the Minister of Health, the Minister of Culture, and 9 other ministries that no longer exist in their bureaucratic hellscape, torturing the people of Argentina because of Javier Milei taking action, essentially cutting off the pork, the fat of federal bureaucracy, and according to some sources has already reduced the size of Argentina's government by more than half, as he is delivering on some of his promises, as a lot of these government agencies are afuera and absolutely gone, providing the people of Argentina the ability to, of course, decide their lives for themselves without any kind of bureaucratic nanny state nonsense. Now, some people are still skeptical of Javier Milei, as of course it also looks like he had a major turnaround when it came to his commitment on withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement, but it is still early in his candidacy, and we will see what he will actually do as the next president of Argentina. As of course, a lot of people are also saying, well, he's very favorable to the American kind of neoconservative foreign policy establishment, and my response to that is Argentina doesn't play a major role in foreign policy at all, or international relations at all. So, should you be skeptical? Yes, you should be skeptical of absolutely everyone. Are the people of Argentina going to have a better life with less government intervening in them? That's also very true. Now, it's important not to, pinch a load in the punch bowl, but let's be honest here. What's going to be happening in Argentina is something that probably hasn't happened in the rest of the entire world. And to me, this is something fascinating. This is something that we should be paying close attention to. And this is something that, of course, I will be reporting on as best and as honestly as I can. As, of course, this is the situation that, in my opinion, is worth looking at. That's my take on it. What do you think of Javier Milei? Do you support him? Press 1. Do you not support him and are critical of him? Press number 2 down in the comment section below to spur on the conversation that I think would be a very interesting one. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively supporting this independent media organization, because you do. This is why. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. One more video coming your way right now on LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there.